next sentence in this post, not only was it a full moon at its furthest point from the Earth, which is also called the micromoon, but it was on Friday the 13th. And it was also the last Friday of Palindrome Week 2019. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Let's break it down. The first grammar point that we're going to talk about in this sentence is the structure not only, but. This is a little bit more of an advanced structure, and it's something that we call inversion, where what we're doing is we're taking a negative phrase like not only, and we're taking it from its original place in the sentence, and we're moving it to the beginning. We are also inverting the auxiliary verb and the subject. So, not only was it a full moon. This is how our sentence begins. Really, the original sentence would be something more like, it was not only a full moon. We've taken not only and moved it to the front. So now we also move was with it too. Not only was it a full moon, instead of it was not only a full moon, now we've taken not only and inverted that, and then also taken the was and inverted that to put it between not only and it, the subject, right? Not only was it a full moon. And then, after we finish that part of the sentence, we begin with the contrastive clause, with but, right? Not only was it a full moon, comma, which is also called the micromoon, comma, but, and then we continue the rest of the sentence. For another example, we can also say something like, not only was it raining outside, but it was also thundering and lightning. So using this structure is a way to intensify what you say in the first part of the sentence. Not only one thing, but something more. Something maybe surprising, something maybe unexpected, or maybe just something that intensifies the situation. Not only did I lose one tooth when I fell, but I lost all the teeth on my top row. It intensifies the first part. The next part of this sentence, which is also called a micromoon, adds extra information about the noun phrase that came before. So, a full moon at its furthest point from Earth, this is the noun phrase, the full noun phrase, that is being described by this relative clause, which is adding more information to the noun phrase that came before. Now we're getting to the part about contrast. But it was on Friday the 13th. Here we have our special word that we use again, very common, but. It shows us that we're contrasting something that we had said previously. Remember, this part of the sentence is completing the first part of the sentence. Not only was it a full moon at its furthest point from the Earth, comma, but it was also on Friday the 13th. Why do we say on Friday the 13th? Because this is a date, a specific date. To learn more about this, watch our video on prepositions of time, in, on, and at. Let's talk about Friday the 13th. What is it? Have you heard of Friday the 13th before? Friday the 13th is a superstitious day. People want to avoid doing things that will cause them bad luck. For example, I'm sure you've heard of the superstition of the black cat that crosses your path. Almost everybody, cross-culturally, has some superstition about a black cat crossing their paths. We also have other superstitions. For example, if you break a mirror, to us, we say, it's 7 years of bad luck. So be careful when you're around mirrors. You don't want 7 years of bad luck like that, I'm sure. We also have other superstitions. For example, when you say something like, "Oh, I hope I don't get sick," what do you do next to try to prevent the universe from allowing you to get sick? Many people knock on wood. This is an interesting word too, knock. Starts with K-N-O-C-K, right? K-N. But we do not pronounce this grouping of consonants, kn. In the history of English, we used to, but that has changed to where now the K is silent and we only pronounce the N, like a knight in shining armor, or a knife. Knock is the same. Also, look at the O in knock. It's just like the O in off, like we talked about in one of our previous lessons, where it doesn't actually sound like O. It's not nok. It's knock. Okay, so now let's move on to the last part of this long sentence. And it was also the last Friday of Palindrome Week 2019. Let's get into this one a little bit. We have a comma before and because we're adding another sentence onto a previous sentence. Whenever you're connecting two sentences that have a similar idea or share a similar theme, you can connect them by using a comma and then the second sentence that you want to add onto the first. It adds some extra information and it connects the two sentences in some way. The next sentence is, "This kind of event is extremely rare." So that can connect back to our first sentence of this post. Yesterday was a unique day. This kind of event is extremely rare. Something or someone that is unique is also rare in some way. Rare meaning not common. If something is extremely rare, it is very uncommon, or it is not very common.